This is my presentation, The Story of an Ice Cube. This is our test subject, QB. He'll be taking you on a journey through the various molecular phases of matter, at least those naturally found often on Earth. Right now, QB is in the solid phase, as now he's in the freezer, which is below 0 degrees Celsius. At this temperature, his molecules do not have much energy. Because of this, they end up tightly bunched together, unable to flow past each other. Since his molecules can't flow past each other, all they can do is vibrate in place. Here, I'll show you, like this. In the solid phase, he has a definite shape and a definite volume. This means that his shape will be the same in any container. If you put him in a square container, he'll be the same shape. If you put him in a circular container, he'll be the same shape. Also, he will always take up the same amount of space. In other words, he will always have the same volume. But as QB leaves the freezer, his molecules gain more energy and they start to spread apart. And in a few seconds, all of his molecules have spread out and he is in the phase liquid. The change from solid to liquid is called melting. This happens at above 0 degrees Celsius, so 0 degrees Celsius is the melting point of water. As a liquid, he has no definite shape as his molecules are further apart and can flow back and forth, letting him take on any shape. However, he still has a definite volume and will always take up the same amount of space. But then, as QB slides down the slanted counter and falls into an empty pot on the stove, his molecules gain even more energy. The pot is 100 degrees Celsius, which has interesting effects on QB's molecular structure, as we'll see in a second. The pot is over 100 degrees Celsius, which is water's boiling point, and at any temperature above that, water turns into a gas. This, the transition from liquid to gas, is known as vaporization. Now, QB has entered the third commonly found phase on Earth, gas. In this phase, he has no definite shape as his molecules move back and forth freely, and interestingly, no permanent volume. This is because his molecules can now go as far away from each other as they are allowed to. This means that if they're in a big container, they will spread out to fill the big container, and there's no limit to the amount of space they can take up because they can go as far away from each other as they are allowed to. This means that they have no definite volume. But as QB's molecules, water is called water vapor in gas form, fly around, they hit something with very little heat or thermal energy. This happens to be the inside of the freezer, which door is still open. As they lose energy, his molecules start to draw closer together, and he turns back into liquid. This transition from gas to liquid is called condensation. This is similar to what you see every time you take a shower. As steam rises up and hits the shower curtain, they lose energy and condense into droplets, dripping down the shower curtain. That was just a brief example. Let's go back to our story. And as QB cools at the bottom of the freezer, continually losing energy, he turns back into a solid, the molecules that make him up squishing back together again. This transition from liquid to solid is called freezing, and 0 degrees Celsius is water's freezing point. At any lower temperature, water is solid. These are the phases of matter commonly found naturally on Earth. Thank you for watching. Solid, liquid, and gas.